Welcome to the Countdown Record Plus Auto Stop intro video. This is a demo of 3 different types of uses for it. One being mocap, giving you time to get in place where you need to be before keyframes start recording. Second use would be rigid body cache recording and protection so that you have an automatic stop before the looping occurs that typically destroys cache. And the third use would be simple like puppeteering, where your mouse input, grabbing, rotating, scaling of regular objects is recorded. Mocap rig ready to go. Problem is, I need time to get this over here, then start the simulation so I can knock the blocks down. So what we're going to do is countdown record, get into position. There you go. So I'm going to enable auto stop and we're going to countdown record. It's already set from 3 seconds. So once it hits 0, you'll see a playback start. I can grab the floor plane because it is an animated rigid body object, allowing me to move it during animation playback and interact with other rigid bodies. And it auto stopped at the last frame. So these are regular rigid body objects without animation set. So in order to preserve their motion, we're going to have to go to our scene settings, cache, and then current cache to bake. Now we can go back to frame 1 and see what we actually recorded. Cool. The reason why we support this version is because before they went to 2.8, the physics in it allowed you to actually move objects and then cancel your movement. So I'm grabbing with G and moving my mouse and then right-clicking. And that object is not set to animated. It's just a normal rigid body object. I'm going to duplicate a few of these so you can see more effects of what the possibilities are. I can grab this object and interact with those and just let it go. Bring this one up. I can even kind of resize it a little bit, rotate, and give it some rotational motion. Now, this is almost like VR interactivity. I think that we're onto something here. The problem is the way you record this and capture this, how do you keep it from getting destroyed to enable auto stop playback? This is so key for recording your rigid body objects and not losing your cache before you bake your cache. So I will just manually hit the space bar, grab the floor plane, move some of these. I'll even manually grab this. It's a fun little trick there. Throw it. Okay, great. It auto stopped the last frame. Now if we do current cache to bake, again, that's in the scene settings and under rigid body cache, current cache to bake. And go back to frame 1 and see what we recorded. Now, again, the floor plane is not moving because the floor plane is actually set as an animated rigid body object, and we have not set auto keying on that. So our motions on that were not registered by Blender and recorded. We're going to free the bake. I'm going to leave that on. I'm going to start playback just to twitch the cache out of its stupor. Now let's use the countdown record feature. So clicking that button, you're going to see the countdown here. It's going to hit 0 and auto keying has been enabled, which is great because now when we grab our animated floor plane object, it's going to register all of that. And it still recorded those things as long as I do current cache to bake. Yeah. And it recorded everything. This is a very simple example, but I mean, imagine building on this with other things, even full ragdolls. If you need to record your real-time input to cache, this add-on becomes very helpful because auto stop playback works just as well. And we're almost there. It's going to stop at 500. And then we go, of course, to our scene, rigid body, cache, current cache to bake. Then we can look at what we recorded. And there you have it. It works just as well for more complicated scenes. Okay, so we're going to open that Python script as the text block here in the text editor, and then simply run the script. Now, when you go back to your animation page, you should see the tab here, the CR Countdown Record Plus tab right there.